Welcome back to another episode of Mythic Giraffe Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm half frozen Ron.
Oh my gosh. I was in Seattle for 3 days. It was mid-50s and no wind. It was delightful.
No wind?
No wind. Yeah.
What is that like?
Yeah, I don't know. And then I come back and my fence is broken because of the wind. There's
it is. It's got to be the windiest time I've ever lived in. It just feels like every time I walk outside the house, it's just nothing but wind.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what gods we have angered, but I am sorry.
Yeah. It is always wind.
Mm-hmm.
Great if you're a kite flyer.
Yeah.
Take up kite flying.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, you kite enthusiasts out there. Yeah. God. That's like, the flight out to Seattle. Like we flew from Salisbury to Charlotte and then Charlotte to Seattle. And the flights out, they were fine. It was delightful. I mean, it was a 5.5 hour flight.
Yeah.
Which I watched Craven the Hunter on the flight because it was free. Oh my God, that's a bad movie.
I had not heard anything good about it, so
it was bad. But I was like, it's free, it's here, whatever.
Sure.
But yeah, so flying back though, like, was fine until we got like, I don't know, to the Appalachian Mountains. And then it was just 45 minutes of hell coming into Charlotte. And then pretty much the entire flight from Charlotte to Salisbury was turbulence. And I'm not talking mild, like little rumble. This was like up, down, left, right, like craziness.
I mean, that makes me feel better because I got to fly to Seattle in 2 months.
Oh, nice. What are you going out there for?
We're going to Alaska.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, if you have time, do you have like a layover in Seattle?
So yes, I have 2 days in Seattle basically because
cool.
We come in the day before our cruise, and then we have like that morning/day, and then we're getting a red eye on the way out, so we have that whole day.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna Pike's Place. We're gonna do that.
Yeah. It was really neat. It's like a 4-story market kind of thing. So, and I mean, we didn't see them, but there's like one of those fishmongers that they throw the fish.
Yeah.
There's a little tavern kind of thing called the Old Stove Tavern or Bar or whatever. Good food, good beers. And the manager is from Maryland or has Maryland ties. Yeah, like I had my Terps hat on and we walk in. He's like, yeah, go Terps. I was like, yeah, fist bump. And we sat down and all of a sudden we, made our orders and everything. And the waiter comes around. He was like, here's your bill. Drinks were on the manager. We're like, what? So we call the guy over and he's like telling us all this, they dated a girl from Easton. His brother went to SU and this and that. So yeah, it was pretty neat.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, they had like, obviously, Italian cheese stores. Like there was this one store selling prosciutto that was like $180 a pound. Yeah, I wanted to try it though.
Should have.
Yeah. Twilly had an espresso. That was delightful. But the problem was we only had 3 days or 2 days really there. We never acclimated. So like I woke up every morning like 3:30, 4 o'clock, right. And yeah.
We were just talking yesterday about our luggage situation. I'm planning to only take carry-on, even though it's a 10-day trip. But I think I can make it work with a careful planning.
Yeah. Well, see, dumb me who doesn't travel. When the other two said, oh, yeah, we're just doing carry-on, I thought that meant you just brought the carry-on suitcase. I didn't realize that meant like a backpack or something, too.
Yeah, you bring your backpack, and then you have a little carry-on luggage put above you.
Yeah, so I just had everything in my little carry-on suitcase.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you're only there for a couple of days.
Well, it was just like for the flight, that 5.5 hour flight, I had to make sure that I grabbed my iPad out of my suitcase so I could read and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm going to load up the Kindle. All this stuff I got to get ready to go. Because we got, same thing, we got the 6-hour flight out, 6-hour flight back.
Yeah, this thing coming back, we left Seattle at 7, and we got into Salisbury at 8.
Yeah.
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 But we had like a 2-hour layover in Charlotte, so. But yeah, 13 hours in airports was not fun.
No, I'm very lucky that it's a direct flight from Philly to Seattle,
Oh, nice.
Seattle to Philly, and the Seattle to Philly is an overnight red eye, so it's like you'll get hopefully get some amount of sleep.
Yeah.
Get to Philly, get the Uber, back home in 20 minutes.
Nice.
If you do carry on and you don't have to check luggage, you'll be out of the airport quick as anything.
Yeah. What's the thing? Well, you got to make sure your wife doesn't do any checked luggage.
We're having this. We're in the conversation right now. We're looking at getting the vacuum bags to vacuum down her luggage.
Yeah.
Because just waiting for baggage is the worst. The whole airport experience sucks.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, knock on wood, I didn't get stopped by TSA either time.
Nice.
Twilly did.
Oh.
He got his hands swabbed in Salisbury, I guess for explosives. Sure. And then on the way back, he was bringing a bag of coffee for his mom and got pulled to the side for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, of course, one of the guys we were with, as he's over there, like, did they find your heroin?
My mother was like, just bring protein powder with you. And I'm like,
oh, yeah.
You want me to take a nondescript white powder in through airport security? I'm sure that'll work.
Yep. It's like I had taken my vitamins Thursday morning, before we got through to TSA, and they're like, anything else in your pockets? And I'd, taken my cell phone and everything out, and I'm looking, I still had my fish oil in my pocket. I pulled it out. I was like, I have a vitamin to take. He was like, that's a vitamin? I was like, yep. So, yeah.
But I'm not looking forward to the airport experience part.
Yeah.
It's also 10 days away. It's going to be a long week.
Yeah. But the cruise should be fun.
Yeah, the cruise will be fine. Not looking forward to the eating like ass for 10 days part, but
you don't have to.
Pretty tough not to.
Yeah, you can find stuff. Well, I mean, Stryker had this nice spread for us for lunch at the factory or whatever it is, their headquarters. It was like chicken Francois and rice pilaf and roasted carrots. I was like, isn't this bougie for a lunch?
We're just dumb Salisbury guys. Give us chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see all the fanciest new stretchers and robot stretchers? And I'm assuming
yeah. We saw some new stuff, like the electric stair chair that costs 3 times the amount as a regular stair chair.
Oof.
And we said, yeah, you can keep that. But we went through the tech and stuff. We had to sign NDAs and all that. But the guy was saying it used to take him so long to work on new prototypes. But now he was like, we drafted up in CAD. I hit a button. Tomorrow morning when I come in, I've got a 3D printed model I can mess with. I was like, that's really cool. And they had 3D printed an apple. It looked like a Gala apple.
Nice.
Felt. I mean, I was just like, I want to bite into this thing, but I know I shouldn't.
Or they mess with you when it really was an apple. So we got that dumb guy believing it was a 3D printed apple.
No, I tried to stick my thumbnail into it and it wouldn't. Yeah.
It's pretty amazing what they can do.
Yeah. And we went to their sound lab and they showed us how things adjust, and they were geeking out about the frequencies they use so you never lose it in your ear. And yeah. So, but yeah, it was fun stuff. But I'm definitely glad to be home.
Yeah. It's funny. I went played disc golf with a friend of mine who used to be an EMT. She got out of the Air Force, decided to be an EMT, and then got out of it pretty quickly. And apparently the department she worked at still had manual load cots and stuff. I was like, I don't think I could. I don't think I would put up with it.
Yeah.
We did it for so long, and without our power load cots now, there's no way.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, it's like we were cavemen.
Yeah, think about the old stair chairs. Like, we're just gonna put you on this aluminum piece of crap and carry you.
Yeah, we're gonna put you on this folding camp chair that has some handles kind of attached to it. I mean, you're better off just to tie the person to their kitchen chair and carry them out.
Mm-hmm. And like, whenever we have to usually now it's like a reef sleeve. We just move them with reef sleeve. Like, God, we're like cavemen moving people with reef sleeves.
Yeah.
It's like, this is ridiculous.
Well, I mean, remember, we used to bring the stretcher all the way into the house.
Yeah.
And then you bounce the wheels down the steps. And I mean, that was like something you taught new EMTs. You're like, okay, you squeeze it here and you can dump it down. And yeah. Animals.
Remember the old school? I mean, this is before our time, but the even older school stretchers that you had to roll, lay down. So you had like the really large handles, which always were like bending over, like you're, just no wonder every EMS person who has a terrible back.
Yeah.
Hopefully this new generation will be like, man, I can move.
Yeah. It's yeah, evidently they have they assemble the heart monitors in the 80s and all in Redmond, Washington. They do the stretchers and the stair chairs and all in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Lucas is in Lund, Sweden.
Huh.
I said, when do we get to go there?
Yeah.
So, which Lucas. Evidently did you know what Lucas stands for?
Lund under Sweden, Kazakhstan.
You're close. It's the Lund University Cardiac Assist Device. Or Assist System. Lucas. Yep.
Well, Lucas is the best employee I've ever had work for me.
Yes. Absolutely.
Should get a POF every time.
Yep. Well, the new Lucas, they were showing us the 4.0s. They actually have arms on them that they crawl over to the patient and.
just it's like a canine. You hit a button on the ambulance, and Lucas walks out of the stretch, and the ambulance goes over and starts CPR.
Yep.
Confirms arrest.
Yeah. It's like a face hugger, but it puts it on the chest. God. Which, I also watched that on the way back, the new Alien movie, Romulus.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
I've heard it's not bad. I've heard it's one of the better of the Alien movies, actually.
Yeah.
But still did terribly at the box office.
Yeah.
Though, to be fair, I think every movie has done terrible at the box office this year.
Yeah, because people are finally smart and realize they don't have to go to a theater.
Yeah.
Why don't I go somewhere with sticky feet and overpriced concessions? In public?
And people.
People.
People are the worst part of every endeavor, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yesterday. Well, oh my gosh. So, rant. My wife is leaving her job, and she had a work phone. So we wanted to get her phone number ported over to my account and add a line. You would think I would just go online. Nope, because it's going from business to private. It's this whole thing. So we had to go to Verizon, and we're like, cool, can you help us? They're like, yeah, call this number. Like, no, we came here for you to help us. They're like, yeah, you still got to call this number. So my wife calls the number, and we're sitting there, and they're giving her this whole runaround. Oh, we've sent you a verification. Oh, we sent it to your husband so he can approve. I'm like, I haven't gotten it. Well, we sent it to his Comcast email. Why would you do that? That's not the email he uses. And I even looked like on my account. It says, contact my Gmail account number and my cell phone number and all that. I'm like, all the stuff is right here. I don't know why they would ever contact him. Whatever. So they're like, oh, we'll send a text. It's like, never got a text and this and that. She's, hours into this. And while we're there, there's all kinds of various quote unquote humans coming into this place and loud and everything. There's this older white guy, overweight, standing there. All of a sudden, his phone rings, and he's got "Baby Got Back" as his ringtone, and it is blaring. So that's like, what? So, Sarah's getting frustrated, and finally, she was like, "Here, talk to my husband. He's, taking the thing." So I talked to the guy, and he's like, "Well, we have." I was like, "No, you just push it through." Well, I was like, "Put me on to your supervisor." Click. He hung up. I was like, "Oh, rage!" Go over to the person from Verizon and tell them, "Well, here, call on our number," and we finally got through. It was some BS about the insurance or protection plan that was on the phone or something. I don't know. But 3 hours later, we finally got my wife a phone and got the hell out of there. But it was just, oh, God.
That's infuriating.
Yeah. Oh, and we're like, oh, so, she's getting a new phone. So what kind of discounts do you have? And they're like, she doesn't get a discount. We're adding a line. No, you're not really, because where she was a Verizon customer through her business, she's just transferring, so it doesn't matter. It's like, you sons of bitches. There was a point I was ready to just grab the table and throw it across the room.
Yeah.
And of course, me, that's it. We're going to AT&T. My wife, no, we're not. Sit here, shut up.
Yeah.
Yep. And we also picked out a new vanity for our powder room yesterday morning.
That's
and
fun.
yeah, we went and I'd measured it and everything. And we get there, we were looking around, and we went to Home Depot and Lowe's, and we're both getting a little overwhelmed. So we're like, we'll just go, we'll eat lunch, and then we'll come back. So we ate lunch, and then we really got looking at things. We looked at some stuff on the computer, and we realized what we had measured was like perfect fit, and they're actually a little bit wider than that. So if we had gotten the size we were thinking of, we would have had like cut into a wall. So yeah, but yeah,
See,
no,
you did the adult thing. You sat back and thought about it for a second.
yeah,
You realized, yeah, it'd make a difference.
yeah.
It's the
So
adult way.
now we have a vanity sitting in my dining room that I will put in today.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, and paint.
Oh,
Because you got to repaint the bathroom if you're putting something in there.
it's true. Yeah, I've got paint projects in the house, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this ever.
Yeah.
And the wife was like, we should repaint the front door. I'm like, okay, who is we?
The dogs. Atticus.
Yeah.
Atticus will do it.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, I think a purple door would just be cute. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And who is we again? Who's taking the door off the hinges? Who's stripping? I don't really mind the paint part. Who's stripping the door?
Yeah. It's the prep work for that.
Yeah.
It's not just you just slap on a coat of paint.
No.
No.
I mean,
it's
you
never
can.
that easy. Oh, yeah.
look like ass.
And it'll peel off or
Yeah. So that's one of the
And I
projects.
saw she was trying to buy a inflatable shark for Halloween.
Yeah. That's been nixed.
Good.
Yeah, that one was a no bueno. Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Somebody. Yeah. Now I have to buy a shed, so we want to move the bikes outside so that they're more accessible.
Okay.
Then I have to put it in my side yard, and I called the shed company. I'm like, look, I just want to look at sheds.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, oh, for God's sakes, here's what I want. Can I come look at sheds? Well, what about the prep work? Do you do the prep work? Well, no, you have to do it. I'm going to pay you money. Come put the goddamn shed in correctly. That's all I want out of you.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, like what kind of foundation do they want to set it on?
Well, the one company was like, we want it on concrete pad. I'm like,
Oof.
concrete pad? My shed that's in the backyard that's been there, I mean, it's technically the second shed there, but it's on the same foundation.
Yeah.
It's just on block.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be on concrete pad, I would imagine. And it's not going to it's going to have 4 bikes in it. Yeah, how much does that weigh?
My 10 by 10 shed is on, salt treated 4x4s.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't put concrete under it. I just put a flat, whatever. Yeah, that's concrete pad.
It just needed to be flat and level and not sink. Yeah, that's all I need.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to a different shed company. Talk to them today. Probably.
We could talk to the people that put the foundation in at headquarters. I mean, they're level. And
I don't know that this is true, but this is what said. Someone said that you can pass your wallet underneath the wall in the bathrooms now at the station.
A thin wallet, yes.
That's a real problem.
Yeah. Well, it's cool if you want to pass notes.
Sure, it's real cool. Cool. That means the support pillars are separating from the roof and the floor.
It's designed for that.
I don't think that's true.
It's not. No, not at all.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, no.
In fact, I believe it's the opposite.
Yeah.
We were talking about that at work. I said that building's might survive my career. I don't think it's going to survive some of the people that sit at that were sitting at the table's career.
No. It's funny that Station 1 is the best station.
I wish, as with all things government, I wish they had some forethought into things when they redid the station to redo it correctly.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, it was run by volunteers at the time, and they didn't think about the future.
Yeah.
So,
and it's funny, like fire stations everywhere are like the perfect example of poor thought processes and planning, right? Like they're always in the wrong spot because if you build a station, you're really thinking about a station for like 5 to 10 years before you build it.
Right.
And you're thinking about it for 10 years before it actually gets built.
Yeah.
Right? So Station 1 is built in a spot because that was the edge of the city at the time.
Yeah.
And they never thought about what the city's going to look like 30 years from then.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's the only town I've ever heard that does it well is Greenville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
That they have very strict rules of you build this amount of stuff, there has to be a new fire station, within that time frame. And they have, this is how many miles every fire station has to be. We did not do that in Salisbury.
No.
And nor did Newcastle County and PG County, Anne Arundel,
Oh, yeah. Like you said, it's everywhere.
It's not just Salisbury. I always have to tell people that. I'm like, we bitch a lot about things that go on in Salisbury, but it's not just us.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, that whole, you change the name of the firehouse and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Kind of deal.
Yeah. It's just, we face it. You get confirmation bias to yourself because this is what you deal with.
Right.
It's like we're talking about the next ambulance in the city. And it's like, it's got to be Station 1's first due, but boy, how do you pull that off? It's
well,
crazy.
Hopefully after this week I could show you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Friday when I worked was perfect example of why we have to do something.
Yeah.
All 5 medic units, because I'm counting Fruitland, were in Station 1's first due at one point.
Yeah. Well, the week before, Monday was 52 calls. So
that's 52
I'm sorry.
only?
Yes. So actually, we'll say 48, because 4 of those were MDCN.
Sure. So, okay, 48, still a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We that's the thing. I when you want to sit down with politicians and say, we're not just saying 48 calls, we're also saying that that means the next call there's no one there.
Right.
The cupboard's bared.
Yeah.
We can't control when people have heart attacks and say, "Oh, well, you just wait until the units are available."
You know. Well, see, that's what folks on the floor don't understand. That's one of the things I do Monday. Monday morning, everyone in the city sends me their EMS requests for the week, and I schedule it out. And I say, okay, well, you need to call for this lift at this time, and you can call. Yeah.
Then I got some words for you. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
Friday, you and I would have had it out.
Yeah. God, Friday at that job fair. Oh my gosh. The one kid, do you need a degree to run the water through the hose? Yes, you do. Yep, it's a master's degree. Yep.
Master's in advanced hydraulics.
Mm-hmm. And there were so many Utes that Obarski and I just wanted to correct, but we were being nice. They're like, oh yeah, my dad works for the fire department. Oh yeah? Who's your dad? Some random name. Who's he work for? Oh, he works for Willard's. He doesn't work there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for his service for us.
Yep. We had two young men approach us, and they asked if they could flick up with our gear. I said, I'm sorry, what? They said, yeah, flick up. I'm like, again, I think you're trying to communicate with me, but I don't think we're on the same page. And the
English, like, motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, he was like, I want to take a picture with your. I was like, sure, take a picture of the gear. I don't care, whatever, that's fine. Flick up, and of course, I text, my wife and kids, and my youngest. Yeah, of course that means a picture. I'm like, well, yeah, you Utes.
The Utes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One kid asked if he could put the helmet on and crunk into somebody, which evidently that means like plow into somebody with your helmet or your head. So, okay, we're like, no, that's not what you do that with.
First, you ain't putting my helmet on your lice-ridden head ever.
Yeah. Oh, I got back and Lysoled everything I owned.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, it was. I mean, some of the kids were, interacting, asking some decent questions, but yeah.
What do you think our recruitment from job fairs actually is?
Oh my god, 0.03%.
Do you think it's that high?
Yeah, I don't know. Low.
Because we went to we had a call at the big one they had at the Civic Center last week before.
Oh yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, of all these kids, now look, these kids are going to have jobs at one point,
right?
But of all these kids, how many actually go get a job at any of these places? Not just us.
Yeah.
But any of these places they interact with. One.
Yeah. I should ask the lady who like coordinates it for Wacomico to see if she has a way to track it or if she tracks it. Yeah, it was funny. Across from us was Salisbury University, and they had their School of Education and School of Business. These kids walk by and they're like, "Oh yeah, SU," and they're like, "Yeah, we're with the School of Business," and they're like, "No thanks," walk away.
I mean, it's cool, but the one at the Civic Center was for really young kids. Like,
yeah, it's middle school.
It makes more sense if they're like high school kids.
Yeah,
they're at least.
Yeah, but the problem is, but now when they're in middle school, they have to start, pretty much plan what they're going to do in high school for like CTE and all. So they want them to think about that. So
I imagine, and this is just anecdotal evidence, but most people who go into the firefighter CTE program, they have a family member who's a firefighter.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
No.
I know of at least one that didn't.
Yeah.
But it's a good majority of them.
Yeah.
You already got those kids or not.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, sure. Topic 1.
This is a tough topic.
There's a heavy sigh, folks.
A heavy sigh. Are video games just not for us anymore?
Gosh.
Or just I've been in this like 4-month like lull of just like not really having anything to play, nothing, not being excited about any games, looking at new games that come out, going, eh,
Yeah.
it just looks annoying. Like my neighbor like sent me a message the other day. He's like, you should try this game. It was on sale on this Steam sale,
Yeah.
and he's like, you should try this game. And I had one question. I said, is it real grindy? And he says, yeah. You know what? You shouldn't try this game. It was literally a 10-second conversation of him saying, don't do this.
Yeah.
It's just every game that I think about playing, I'm like, it just feels like I'm not interested in microtransaction bullshit games.
Yeah.
I don't care about flossing and whatever the hell kids do and Roblox and all that stuff.
Oh, I was like, flossing. Yeah, you're supposed to do that at least once a day.
I'm not interested in any game that's come out recently. And every time I get excited for a game, I end up being disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Dragon Age Veilguard was that for me recently.
Oh my god! And they just had a new DLC, and I looked at some of the pictures. I was like, "That looks awful."
Yeah,
It
I
looks
like I said,
awful.
I gave it a few hours. It just, yeah, it was.
I'm not willing to even give bad games 4 hours anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well, I didn't pay for it, so I was like,
sure.
oh, okay. But it's like you said, kind of. I got nothing else to play right now, so I was like, okay, I'll give it some time. Yeah, I think what it is, Baldur's Gate 3 broke games for us.
That might be true.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had to format my computer and start it over again, and I was looking at my games library, like, what am I going to reinstall? I'm like, well, I might as well just reinstall Baldur's Gate 3 and just play that.
Yeah.
because
now there's new subclasses and all too.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
Yeah.
But I just like, there's nothing else that I'm like even interested in.
Yeah, I mean, I hop on and play Call of Duty. It's just mindless. I'm not like, going for anything.
Satisfied by that game experience anymore? It's fine.
Yeah, I have fun, but it's not like it's not like the achievement of, I've got to get from point A to B, and I wonder what I'm going to find along the way. And by the time I get to B, I've got to be ready to attack. It's.
There's games that I've called out work because I was like, I can't not finish this part of the game I'm at.
Yeah.
Right. That's happened in the past. I'm not saying what job it was at, or you can figure it out because I've been at the same job for 20 plus years. But there's the games where I've been so engaged that like every waking moment, I'm like, oh man, I just can't wait to get back to finish this in that game.
Yeah.
I haven't had that experience in. I mean, I would say Baldur's Gate was probably the closest I've had that experience.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I felt that way. I didn't call out sick for Baldur's Gate. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah,
as a man that could be my boss next week, I really don't need you to hear that. I'm going to work for video games, but
there's like I can remember, staying up for the midnight release and not going to sleep till 4:00 in the morning because I got that new game. I don't want to play it, and
every single
or
Halo.
Saying, okay, here's this game release on Thursday. Well, I need to make sure that I am off on Friday.
Yeah. Every game, every Halo until Reach.
Yeah.
I was off for the release of.
Yeah.
Like I had made sure that I was home and ready to play the first day of.
Yep.
I
was that way with Destiny.
Yeah, right. I did a mutual once to be off for Halo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would, and now I don't care about Halo. Halo Infinite was so meh.
Yeah.
It was fine, and that's kind of what I'm feeling like on every game now. It's just like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm old. Maybe it's because they don't build games the way I enjoy them anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think it might just because they don't build games for us anymore.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think what it is the vast amount of games are not for us.
Sure.
And then there's those few games in between that are for our age and stuff, but they're fewer and far between because they know that you know I would think it's like they've got their hooks in us already. They know that we'll play games, but they're trying to hook younger and different audiences. So it's a much more diverse portfolio of games than we're used to. And it's also, you think about it, like when we were teenagers, there were what, 5 big game releases through a year,
Oh yeah,
and now there's
sure.
probably 5 every 2 weeks, every month.
But you
So
used to, and this is just maybe my view of it. There was not a such thing as a AAA title that people were like meh about.
right,
And I would
yeah,
say now most AAA titles that come out, people are like meh. The
yeah,
only time you ever hear excitement about a game is a game that's outside of the AAA that
mm-hmm.
you know gets its hooks into people,
Yeah,
like Baldur's Gate. You know, they just you just
yeah,
don't hear the excitement over the new Assassin's Creed. You're like, yeah, it's Assassin's. Even people who love Assassin's Creed seem to say,
yeah,
it's Assassin's Creed.
right.
You know, and
Yeah,
that
yeah, because that's a new one. Because you would think, oh man, it's in Japan and this and that, but it's like, yeah, but I don't know.
yeah, but I don't have an answer for what the games industry needs to do, but I do know that like what our generation is the biggest generation of gamers right now, right? Like we're finally
Yeah,
at the point in our generation where we've played games our entire lives and we have
yeah,
money to spend on games, and they're just like
right.
no games you want to spend money on.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think you and I are unique in that we're 45-year-old men who still play video games, and
no, we're
I think
not.
there's many of us like that, and I just don't think
Yeah,
they think we matter. Our generation has
yeah,
kind of gotten the shaft in pretty much every
yeah,
every way, shape, and form.
yeah,
We had to scrap our way. When we were kids, they didn't build video games for us because they were building Nintendo games for our parents,
yeah.
right? Like Mario wasn't really meant for us;
No,
it was meant for our parents.
yeah,
We had that sweet, sweet early 2000s, like Halo and Assassin's Creed, and all those big
yeah,
titles that came. I mean, my friend was so in love with Mass Effect that I don't think anything broke his heart more than Mass Effect 3.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was.
people loved those titles. Like they people identified with them,
Yeah.
right? Do you identify with any AAA titles now?
Hmm.
Like you play Call of Duty, but
Yeah.
do you wear a Call of Duty pin at work? I
No, I
wore a
don't.
Halo pin on my helmet at work for years.
Yeah.
Till
Well,
I
I mean,
lost
I've got a Destiny sticker on my Jeep.
it. Right.
Yeah.
And even Destiny, you don't play Destiny anymore. You know,
No.
and Bungie's
I've
not
thought
even
about
putting.
booting it back up, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I try.
Well, part of it is the grind, but
Yeah, it took its grind.
yeah, it's also. I mean, I got to that point in it where I was like, this is, to me, this is where the story wrapped up.
Sure.
Great.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and I mean, I feel bad for whoever tries to make Baldur's Gate 4.
Yeah. Because it's gonna
But
happen, right? Like,
oh yeah,
um,
yeah, Hasbro is like, oh yeah, look at this money. We had
right,
definitely have an opportunity.
right. Some studio is gonna say, "Oh, we can repeat the magic," and you're not gonna repeat the magic.
No, no, you're not.
And you can't. And that's kind of also the problem. I think is it's just a repeat the magic. It's always
Yeah.
repeat the magic instead of
Hmm.
create new magic.
Yeah.
Or even Baldur's Gate, like right, we say how great it was, but it wasn't new. It wasn't a new
No.
IP,
No.
right? It wasn't. It was using existing game systems, existing characters. A lot of those things were like
Yeah.
got us on the hooks, but
Right.
there's not been anything. There's a lot of indie games that are new, but they don't really draw you in. I don't feel like right
Yeah.
now.
No, no, they don't.
This my friend was talking about Fallout 76. He's like, "Did you ever play Fallout 76?" And I said, "Yeah, I played. I don't know, a couple hours. I gave it some time. I tried. I just
Yeah.
wasn't excited by it." And he's like, "Well,
Yeah.
they just released ghouls." And then he texted me last night. He's like, "You have to play to level 50 before you can be a ghoul character." He's like,
What?
I'm not going to invest that much
Yeah.
time."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I
Hmm.
get it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real problem for us as adults is we have to really weigh time spent
Yeah.
differently,
Yes, we do.
right? Like I've only got X amount of time per week. I got to
Yeah.
take my arthritis pills 3 times a day. You know, I can't waste time
Hmm.
on bag. It's like how I feel about TV shows. If
Yeah.
I'm not interested in a TV show in the first hour, I'm not watching that TV show
Yeah.
because I'm not out of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd say that, yeah, the people, yeah, it's the same as games, like you were saying earlier. Yeah, oh, well, give it a couple hours and it'll get, no, it's not. My time is precious. And if you're not, clicking with me early on, then,
Yeah, it's not that I don't want to do grindy games. It's just that I don't want to do non-rewarding games for out. Like my neighbor is a psychopath in my mind because he will play the same. He loves like the Diablo
yeah,
remake, all that style game. He likes like Grim Dawn and all those things. And he'll play
okay.
those games for hours and hours and hours and hours, and he'll redo those characters hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. So just
Yeah,
and that's fine for him.
right.
I'm not in for that.
Yeah,
Like I'm okay with having an 8 hour experience
right.
and being done with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or, I mean, yeah, sure, there's that longer experience, but I mean, I play most of the Soulsborne type games and stuff like that, and like everybody's like, oh yeah, once you get like new game plus plus and 3 times, I'm like, I play through it once, I get what I need out of it, and yeah, I don't like replaying the same thing over and over again a lot.
Even Baldur's Gate, I've had problems getting back into a second game
Yes. Oh
because it's like
yes.
I've done this already.
Yeah.
I
And the
really
first the
enjoyed,
first act is so big.
yeah, but I really enjoyed my first experience. I don't want
Oh
to.
yeah. Yeah.
I almost don't want to repeat it because I'm like I did this. Like
Exactly.
I don't
Yeah.
want to be like, well, I know these decisions. I'm
Hmm.
going to make this different decision. I
Right. Hmm.
I enjoyed the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it is. That's definitely one of those games that if I could blank that out of my memory and replay it, sure.
sure. Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's. I mean, you see memes about it, but it's. When you're young, you've got the free time, but not the money. And then when you're older, you've got the money, but not the free time, and probably the as much drive.
Yeah.
Because there are other things.
It is just, and
Mm.
you always think back of
Mm.
experiences, right? You always like, oh, I
Yeah.
enjoyed this experience. Like I enjoyed Battlefield 3. And I think about it, like Battlefield 3 was one of my favorite games that ever came out, but it was also because I was playing with a group of friends all the time.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore, You know, we ended up playing not you anymore because you're not a band of people. You're up in the high Ivory Tower. But I end up playing it. 10 o'clock in the morning. I get home from the gym and I'm on the computer
Right.
playing games. There's not a lot
Yeah.
of people in my social circle doing that.
Yeah.
My
Well, and
buddies
that's
are
like,
like, oh, "It's finally Friday night." I'm like, "Well, I gotta go to bed at 6." So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's the original clan I was in Destiny. I mean, we've got a Discord with like 4 or 5 of us, but you know, we got one guy that lives in Central Time, a couple more that live in Pacific Time and all, and we've tried to, like hook back up, but we're older now, and it's like, okay, well, if you guys hop on at 9 o'clock at night, I'll be hopping on at midnight. So
yeah,
no.
so yeah, it's not gonna happen. Yeah, yeah. But on good news, did you see the new news out of Xbox?
Don't know.
The next it's we're 2 years out from this, but the next generation of Xbox is basically they're giving up and it's just going to be a really good gaming PC.
Oh, okay.
So they're basically going to stabilize
Hmm.
gaming PC hardware.
Hmm.
which is really how they win the console wars.
So that'll mean a couple years from now it'll have XL28.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just it would almost. I don't understand why it's not just. I kind of get what it, because of the infrastructure and everything, but just a streaming service, just streaming games.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Game Pass and PlayStation Plus have, almost basically ruined us. Because now you're just like, I'm just going to play the free game.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, PlayStation hasn't ruined us here recently because the free games have not been great.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Like, what was it?
Well, Dragon
January.
Age.
Yeah, there was Dragon Age, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Oh.
Yeah, there have been some not great games. So, but and people, like, oh god, this is awful. I'm like, it's a free game. Just shut up.
Sure.
But it gets that entitlement, and yeah, it's like you talked about earlier, like microtransactions and things like that. Like, yes, I'm grinding away in Call of Duty, but it's just stuff in the background. I'm not like specifically doing things, and yeah, if I unlock the stuff, cool. It's not.
Right.
I'm not like, oh my god, I have to log in every day so I can get this.
Yeah, I don't have that drive.
Yeah, no. It's like I got home from my trip from Seattle, and my wife was like, "Oh, are you ready to hop on the PlayStation?" I was like, "Meh, I'm just gonna sit here,
hang out with
talk
the family."
To you. Yeah.
5 minutes later, you're like, all right, that's enough of it.
Well, 5 minutes later, both my kids are on their phones.
Right.
So I was like, okay,
oh my god,
whatever.
Side tangent to that rant.
Yes.
Side tangent about that.
Yes.
So, my mother, love her dearly, 67 years old. 60,
okay.
Something whatever that. 66. Yeah. 66.
Yeah.
So, picked her up at the airport yesterday.
Yep.
It's a 30-minute drive. I don't even know if you've seen my new car, but I drive a new Crosstrek. It's a smaller hatchback. It's a 4-door hatchback.
Yeah.
It's a smaller car. It's not like we're like 38 miles away from each other.
Right.
She's sitting in the back seat, and it's a 30-minute ride from the airport to the restaurant we were going to go for dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe pushing it 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Within 3 minutes of her being in the back of my car, she's got her phone in her hand, volume up, watching videos.
What?
I'm like, are you a teenager? Put your phone away. We can have conversations. I get this at the firehouse. I don't need to get this here in my home life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's people are like, oh, it's the kids with their super short attention spans. No, it's the adults.
No. It's definitely the adults.
It's like every time I pull up to a stoplight or something, and I look over, and there's some older, senior citizen or middle-aged person, and they're at a stoplight looking at their phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, you should know better than this. If I had my harpoon gun, you would be taken down right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of a side tangent off to that. On the flight home, the gentleman next to me was a psychopath. Had his phone, once we got up and you could, scan the QR code and, watch a free movie or whatever, was watching it without headphones and had it like up and down. He didn't turn it horizontally.
Oh, that person is a serial killer.
So he was watching this tiny.
Reported him.
Easily. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you?
There's this other thing I can't remember what they call it, but like there's these people that purposely get on flights and then just stare. They don't read, they don't watch movies, they just stare. I can't remember what they call it. They have this thing that they do, and it's like it sounds it's
cyborgs.
Like, report these people.
Yeah, that's got to be an Android or something. They're trying to slip through to see how it works.
Yeah.
Golly day. That's it. Yeah, you got to like trip and fall in front of them to see if they instinctively try to assist you.
The turtle is on its back. What do you do?
Yeah.
The Blade Runner test.
Well,
on to better news. Topic 2, maybe more enlightening, happy times.
Sure. Oh gosh. Topic 2. Let me pull this up here. Um, well, yeah. So we've done the would you rather's before, and I tried to find one that was would you rather with like superpowers and stuff.
Ooh.
But it's more or less. I found one that's talking about some of the pitfalls of it. So, like, yeah, I guess that's it. The pitfalls with superpowers. So, imagine you had super strength, but you couldn't control it.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. Like you couldn't wipe your own ass,
Yeah, yeah,
right? You,
yeah,
yeah. It's like that's the Midas touch rule, right? Like you can turn everything to gold, but then you turn everything to gold. You're super strong. You break everything.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
I mean,
real.
yeah, just like brushing your teeth.
Ooh,
Yeah,
but are your teeth super strong? Is it the toothbrush that breaks? The
yeah, it would be
frustration would be that every time you put the toothbrush in your hand, you would crush it, and then when
right.
you try to brush your teeth, that it would just break off of your toothbrush, like just off the teeth. That'd be really frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to like gently brush it because that's the thing. You're super strong. You're not invulnerable,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so you could blow out your gums just brushing your teeth.
That'd be terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it says they compare it to being a diamond in a paper mache world.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, like eating.
Hmm.
Think about eating. Everything you try to touch would like explode in your hands because you're so strong. That'd be bad.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
frustrating.
yeah, invulnerability. Yeah, you've got invulnerability, but if you're truly invulnerable, you're going to live forever.
I'm cool with that.
But would you, if you're like your skin is tough enough to make you invulnerable and everything, you can't have nerve endings in it. So now you're not going to feel anything.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
that's different.
Yeah. Yeah. So you live forever pretty much as a robot.
Yeah, but you still get time to think. Think all the video games you get to play, all the AAA titles that you're really disappointed in.
Yeah.
Vulnerability is still pretty cool.
but if but if you're invulnerable, you can't cut your hair?
Oh,
Yeah.
that would drive me nuts because I can't have long hair.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna and your toenails and fingernails?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now you're getting me on it.
Yeah. See?
Mm,
Yeah. You're invulnerable living forever, but you're this hairy, long
mm,
nailed
mm.
creature.
Yeah, that'd be a problem.
Yeah. Uh super intelligence. You inevitably become really arrogant and really depressed because nobody you can relate to, talk to, anything.
Oh, I always thought super intelligence would just drive you actually criminally insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like you would just because everything would you would know the better answer of it would literally drive you insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I think all the what's that Osmandius and Watchmen. That's the
Yeah.
perfect example. You would become a sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah. Um, teleportation or phasing. It's a death trap.
Yeah. Eventually, you're going to phase into the wrong thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Kitty Pryde is like the worst superhero.
Oh my
Like
gosh. Yeah.
because or I guess Nightcrawler too. Like
Yeah.
eventually, you're going to go into the wrong thing and not be able to get out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Or like you're like Kitty Pryde halfway through and you sneeze or something,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then you're part of the wall.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, and there's the whole you could phase yourself off the planet accidentally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, yeah, the Earth is rotating and revolving. So
Hmm.
if you're not perfectly calculating that, you could end up in the vacuum of space.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. It's a terrible one.
Yeah. Um, energy beams, like from your eyes, hands, whatever. Again, if you don't have perfect control, that's yeah.
Yeah, Cyclops is
It's
terrible, right? He's
yeah,
killing
it's
everybody.
not just going to stop. It's going to keep
Right.
going.
You wanted to scratch your eyes, and now like a school full of children are dead. Good job.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And if it's one of those that you can control when it's on or off, I mean, again, you sneeze or somebody startles you and poof, laser beams come out of your
Mm-hmm.
eyes. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's that's bad times.
At times. Yeah.
Which, side tangent to that, yesterday I was in the grocery store
And you killed
with my
somebody with
wife.
laser eyes?
No, but somebody like walked right beside me. I didn't see them there, and I squealed like a small child, and my wife burst out laughing. But the psychopath never responded to my
Oh boy.
reaction at all. Yeah. Yep.
That's crazy.
Um, we've talked about this one before. Invisibility inevitably turns you into a bad person.
It's has to.
Yeah.
Moral great. There's no way to hold the moral high ground forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Like being a Jedi. Like there's no way that you're going to maintain perfect morality when you have that kind of power.
Right. Yeah. It's yeah. Um, flying. Flying sounds cool, but your body still feels cold. You still feel pressure differences. You still need to breathe.
Oh, I didn't think about the cold.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. And just, I
And
mean,
you're going to run into helicopters.
oh my gosh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and
because
that
you
would
don't have a transponder on you.
right, and drones and all kinds
Yeah.
of yeah.
Well, just think about it. We're about to hit that time of year where there's bugs and gnats and everything. Just flying or
Oh
driving down the road, your
yeah,
windshield's covered.
you're always going to have like a full face helmet on at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Fly
yeah.
like 3 feet off the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And at a low speed.
Right.
Yep.
I'm basically walking, but I'm 2 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a great power.
Yeah. Yeah. Super speed. Again, if you move too fast, it's just the friction of the air against your body. And then the metabolism your body would need to keep that up. I mean, you're just constantly eating.
Yeah. Quicksilver is the best of that. He's just basically eating junk food all the time.
Yeah. But it's like the boys. If you're not watching where you're going, you can destroy somebody like
Oh
that.
yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I always thought Quicksilver was better than the Flash, because the Flash seemingly has no idea what's going on around him.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like Quicksilver, he's moving so fast that like time slows down for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shape shifting sounds cool, but at some point you probably lose who you are.
Mm. Yeah, because you're gonna find something. You're just gonna be like, I'm a blob, because it's just easy.
Yeah, yeah. Or I've been shape whatever it is. You're like, oh, okay, well, it was cool to be this. It's like, wait a second, who was I originally?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Yep. And then finally, telepathy.
Oh,
It's
that'd be
like
terrible.
it's like
Terrible.
invisibility. It's so easy to misuse it.
Not only that, but
And
you really don't want to know people's inner thoughts.
oh my God, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. If it's not gated down, if it's just like constantly,
Oh, you'd be a
open.
psychopath. You would
Oh
be
my
a
God.
psychopath.
You
Because
would. I
everywhere
don't
you
know if you'd
went,
be a psychopath. I think you would just curl up in a ball.
I don't know.
Just
I
hearing
think you'd end up
everybody's
killing
thoughts
people.
around you.
Yeah, because every time you would go crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Or like you said, yeah, you would. Yeah. If everybody has, those dark urges or, the impulse thoughts or whatever, you hear that in somebody's mind out of context. You're like, well, I got to kill this person before
Right.
they do
Yeah.
something awful. And then, yeah. Yeah. Then you're playing judge, jury, and executioner. And
I know you would be a
it's just
psychopath.
because Grandma Schmerkins had a bad day and she's thinking about, I
Yeah, if
wish
you
that.
listen to
Yeah.
my inner thoughts while I'm driving, you would think I'm like committing genocide.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You need to put me down if you hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's sometimes not just my thoughts.
It's fair. My car is a safe space for my anger.
Yeah. 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 Which, oh my God. Side tangent. The guy driving us in Seattle. Oh, not a good driver.
No, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. Like we're on our way to the airport Thursday morning, and he had joked that people had given him a hard time before. He's like, "See, we made it the whole trip, without an issue." And I'm in the back seat. I'm like, "We're not there yet."
Yeah.
As he goes over the rumble strips and swerves away from somebody beeping at him.
Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I figured that the superpower pitfalls that'd be a kind of fun
Yeah.
little
That's a nice little
run
lighthearted
through.
way to end this after our sad discussion about video games.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully there's some games on the horizon we haven't really heard about that'll
There's
come
always
out.
going to be new experiences around the corner,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And who knows? It could be something that's in the AAA market or something that just haven't really heard about that'll tickle the fancy and get us back into it
I'm hoping.
hardcore.
I really am.
Yeah. Yeah. But until that day, folks, keep listening to your Zune.
There it is.
But yeah, subscribe to us on your podcast platform of
Yeah.
choice. Share us with your friends. Come join the Discord.
And generally be good people.
Yeah.
And learn to drive.
Yes, that's that. Yes, that's paramount. Take care, folks.
See you, folks.